What's up? What's good? What it do? What it is? What up with it? However you say it from where you're from, thank you for being here with us. I am one half of the co-hosting team. I'm Steve.
And I'm Liz.
That's my beautiful wife, Liz. And this is Marriage for Grown Folks. A safe space, if you will, for those of you who subscribe to this beautiful institution that we call marriage.
Yep. Ups,
downs, highs, lows, lefts, rights, valleys, peaks, and everything in between.
All of it.
All of it. We won't cover everything, but we do our best to make sure we cover enough, right? Mm-hmm. And once again, if you are here for the salacious headlines and clickbaity gender war topics, wrong place, click off, we're fine. And if you're just here to have a good time, we try to provide what we call edutainment, right? Edutainment. So sit back, get yourself some popcorn or whatever it is that you eat, enjoy, snacks, all that good stuff, and let's try to have a good time.
Yes.
Cool?
Yes.
All right. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you? I'm
fantastic. This is one of my favorite places to be.
It's a happy place for me too.
Yeah, like a party in the middle of the week.
Yes.
Party. I bet you smell good.
I think I do.
You think you do?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You look good as well.
Thank you, baby.
Do you. Thank you. Even though this is outfit number 5 or 6 for you.
Oh, for today?
Yeah. See, yeah. Mark doesn't know, but we did a photo shoot today.
Photo shoot.
We did a photo shoot. Mm-hmm. Trying to prep this podcast for some major things. Some major things. Mark is back in the building.
Yay! We've missed you.
Mark is back.
He's back.
Yeah, on hiatus last week.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
I am.
Let's have some fun. We got a lot to get to, but this should be a lot of fun.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's get to it.
All right. We're going to play a little game today.
Oh, wait.
Wait.
What are we listening to? My bad.
Oh.
What are we listening to, my love?
So I'm listening to...
Let me get these jokes off. Tell me what you're listening to.
Every week I say I'm going to listen to something new, as in like in this era, as in like 2020, not even this era, like 2024 at least. And I didn't this time around.
Got it.
Not going to lie.
Okay.
I saw something on social media and they were questioning the lyrics of an Usher song.
Got it.
Nice and Slow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
And so because of it, I was like, oh, I really like that one, but I like Confessions more. So I listened to Confessions.
Okay. Ain't nothing ever wrong with Confessions.
Thank you.
Yeah, Confessions is a classic. Is it not?
It is a classic.
Right.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
So anyway.
So to answer the question, you're listening to?
Confessions.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But I laughed because when I was on my walk, SWV came on.
It just happened. It just happened.
I didn't pick it. Sometimes I pick it, but I didn't pick it this time. Right. And I'm So Into You came on, and I was like, well, now I got to repeat it. So I did.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to get the jokes off regardless.
It doesn't matter.
But get the
then,
jokes off.
I think sometimes my Apple playlist be like really playing with me.
Why would you say something like that? Why would you infer that an application or an entity that big would never, ever, ever throw an algorithm or some suggestions to you? Duh.
I mean, yes, of course. But I'm just using my own playlists. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it'll just play like SWV one after another. Like once, I'm like, oh, where are we listening to this one? Oh, bet. I haven't heard this one in a minute. And so anyway, yes. That's it.
Shameless you are.
Confessions.
Shameless
I was listening to
are.
Confessions today.
Are you embracing your auntie?
Yes, I am.
I think I'm starting to fall in love with my uncleisms too.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, we aunties and uncles.
I'll take it.
I think we look pretty
I'd take
good.
that over grandma and grandpa any day.
Oh, that's wild. That's super duper wild.
I mean, for now, our kids are young.
Our kids are young.
Yes.
No, I mean,
our friends' children are not.
Right.
But that's for the most part, right? What friends do we have that have kids that are right?
Young?
Okay. Anyway.
We were without a doubt the last of the Mohicans.
Yeah.
In all respects. Last ones to have children, and the dumbest one, the craziest, no. The wildest ones for having
like we did?
A young boy while we were starting to age. Didn't they call us geriatric?
They called me geriatric. They said my pregnancy was geriatric. How offensive. That's it.
What year? That's interesting. What year do you qualify for geriatric?
After 35.
After 35.
Yeah, after 35. I was pregnant at 37. Had him at 38. Ooh. Yeah, y'all do the math. Ooh. So anyway, when that lady said that, I said, we're not calling it that anymore. You can say whatever, put it whatever you want in the file, but we're not, because I'm offended. Anyway. Confessions. All right, for me, you heard me. I was listening to Back to Life. Yes, you were.
Back to Reality. There's a cool backstory to this song. Please. I think I shared it with you.
Probably.
However do you want it? Mm-hmm. However do you need me?
Is it me or it?
However do you want me?
Me. Okay.
Yes. However do you want me?
Okay.
Right.
I wasn't correcting you. No, I don't do well with lyrics.
You don't do well is what we're going with?
That's what we're calling it. Nope.
You're god awful. You're god awful. You're god awful. You're god awful. And sometimes I wonder, like, if the people who wrote these songs knew how you destroy their lyrics, I bet you they would want to like contact you personally and let you know that's not what
I mess up SWV lyrics.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, matter of fact, I got one. Mark, let me tell you about her going to the SWV concert.
With him.
Right. No. Oh,
wait.
No. Let's stop it right now. She decides that she's going to send me a quick little 10-second blurb of her singing the song. Singing weak and singing the wrong words. I'm like, wait, hold on. That's not the words.
What did he do? Tell
LeBron?
me. Yeah.
Years ago, LeBron is notorious for acting as if he's a music historian. You know what I mean? He probably is. Nonetheless, I think sometimes he forgets that the camera is always on him. Mm-hmm. So when a song comes on and he starts feeling it, all of us have a moment of lapse sometimes where we completely forget the lyrics exactly verbatim the way they were written.
Other people do it.
Other people do it, but other people don't do it as bad as you, because you can go through your whole entire life and then finally be corrected and still move about your life in a sense that suggests that those words are those words. You were so wrong.
Okay. That's fair. It's fair.
Either way, they call LeBron mouthing more than 2 or 3 times just the wrong lyrics. So they was like, LaWrong. LaWrong.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But either way.
We're birthday twins, so maybe that's just kind of our personality.
Yeah, man. But Back to Life.
Got it.
All right. However do you want me? Mm-hmm. It is a cult classic. It is a hip hop classic. It's a mandatory song that we all love. That's also 89 off that project 1989.
Okay. That
still to this day has been sampled and many times. It's like a go-to song. Back to Life. However do you want me? Mm-hmm. If you've seen Belly before, you already know how important that song is. Mary's redone it. I think Mary redid it with Jadakiss on a remix.
Oh yeah.
Right. But
it's on my playlist.
The cool thing about that song, Karen Wheeler, right, the writer and performer of that song, had a near-death experience. And during that experience, she says that she, basically they pronounced her dead, I believe. And upon her revival, she was in love with this song and she wrote it. So although we're hearing a song that is timeless and that we love, however do you need me? And we wait for the beat to drop, which is the quintessential drop.
Takes like a minute.
Yeah, too. And they take their time with it. You know what I mean? But long story short, she had a near-death experience and then came back with that song. Man. Now, I wouldn't say I want to die to make a song that good. But if I had to and get revived, boy, that would be the song that I would love to write.
What a gift.
What a gift.
What a gift.
Yeah, buddy.
I love that.
Woo. Yeah. Yeah.
Where's my camera? Where am I looking?
Your camera? Go ahead. Get after it.
Am I right here? Okay, cool. Because I'm like, A little thrown off. Sorry.
All right. Yeah, that's
Thank
fine.
you.
That's fine. Are you ready? Tim check?
I am.
Let's get to it.
Good one. Good one. We're going to play a little game.
Let's get it.
We didn't ask Mark what he was listening to either.
I mean, he might say something like Drake or Playboy Cardi or something like that.
Shade.
Matter of fact, I think he would say Playboy Cardi just to mess with me. Just to mess with me.
I mean, can we talk about it?
Dear Mark, we're not giving that no airtime. Dear Mark, what are you listening to, sir?
Well, I was doing my producer homework, so I did take about 6 days to listen to 30 songs from Cardi. It was very long. No B-side though, just straight A-side.
Okay.
Songs. Yes, it's not my favorite.
All right, you're doing too much. You have officially given it a segment. You have officially given it airways.
But Kendrick did phenomenal.
What do you have? 3 verses, right?
Yeah,
3 verses?
Three verses, did the hook, and then he was on good. He rapped on good credit. Those were highlights for me.
No.
That's about it.
Shy. Our girl loves Playboy Cardi.
She said it was trash though.
She did.
She did. She said
she
it
did
was
say
trash.
that. She did say that, but she loves like his voice. She loves like
Yeah.
which I was really surprised at because she's so like refined and
Lies.
okay.
There's nothing refined about that young woman.
So there's nothing
Beautiful,
refined
gorgeous.
about her, but she presents as if she is. So that is the aim. So we're gonna
go with that.
we're gonna go there. Yes.
Copy that. For
Yes.
those who are waiting for that project, good for you.
No.
Yep. I'm totally fine. I'm okay being that I'm not the demo.
Okay.
It's not for me. And that's
No.
fine.
No.
I've aged out. No one sells anything to us anymore.
It's
no
okay.
products or anything. They just say screw those old people. You know,
And this is why I just keep listening to Confessions and SWV.
You gonna take her to the Vegas residency?
oh, that's done.
Oh, it's done.
It's a wrap. Chicken
Yeah,
season.
it's done. So I saw him because he wouldn't go with me during that time. And then people just kept catching like COVID and whatnot. So
Yeah, I could tell there was COVID in there. You could look through the screen and say, I said, there's COVID sitting in row C, section C, row 35. It's COVID all in there.
COVID in there.
All
it was
that
a
COVID.
lot
Of
happening.
COVID. Sitting there with his
It would have
legs
been
crossed.
fun. It would have been fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
it would have been.
It's cool. We're going to play a game, okay?
Let's get to it.
Okay. Would you rather?
Would you rather?
Okay.
All right.
Would you rather free plane tickets or free accommodations for the rest of your life?
Free plane tickets or free accommodations for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. Can you clearly define accommodations?
So you get the flight or you get
Oh, this is
where
all
you're
in
going?
regards to flying.
Well, it's either or.
Okay. When
Would
you said
you rather?
accommodations, I thought you meant like I get a free this, that. Okay.
Okay, let's try this again. Ready?
Yep.
Would you rather free plane tickets
Mm-hmm.
or the accommodations for the rest of your life?
Got it. Because when you didn't say plane, I didn't know that you were speaking specifically to planes.
I'm pretty sure I
Accommodations
said plane.
or
Okay.
free tickets.
Pretty sure I said plane, but it's all good. Which
I
one?
mean, at
Which
the end
one?
of the
Which
day,
one?
Tickets.
The tickets.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking tickets.
Now, why is that?
Hello, McFly. I get to go wherever I want to go.
Right.
And I'm not 6'7", so where do I care? I do care where I sit.
I was gonna say
I do care where I sit, even though my wife, when she books
he's
flights,
a slight diva when it comes to.
oh, you
booking.
doing that? That's what you're doing. You're doing
I'm
that.
talking about plane tickets and wherever you're gonna sit, you need certain things.
Do you know why? You've heard this story before.
Oh my gosh! Please tell it again.
Mark, I'm trying to tell you, it's just my luck. It's the luck of the draw. It's just how it works for me. I'll get stuck in the middle seat with an overweight person to my left, a funky person to my right. Or I could potentially have somebody who decided that garlic was the best way to go. Garlic was the best way to go for a 6-hour ride from the East Coast to the West Coast. Or there's a lady sitting next to me with her child. That's how it works for me. So I preferably would like to have a window seat.
He wants a window seat with extra room. What else? like comfy space.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying.
Don't do that. Don't. She just made me diva.
And he has to be like, he doesn't want to be boarding last. He doesn't want those things.
I'm black. I have a problem being last. That's my truth. Right? You can judge me all you want to. I have a problem being last. Right? I don't like being last. It feels away. Slavery. Okay. That's my answer to everything.
Back of the bus.
Slavery.
Back of the bus. I get it. Okay.
How about you?
So I would have chosen the plane tickets as well.
Okay.
Because I'm like, you cover that, and I mean, I'll find us a hotel or a resort or whatever, right? Like, just
you are good at that, man. You're fantastic.
Thanks.
Like a travel agent, Mark. I'm trying to tell you, she's fantastic. Fantastic. She finds all the deals for the vehicles, the plane.
Low.
Yep.
But I need like 4 and 5 stars too.
Who wants to be in a Roach Motel?
No.
We don't want that.
Nobody. Okay. Would you rather spend a weekend at a tropical paradise or a snow haven?
Did you really mean this?
I did.
We are from Hartford, Connecticut, right? From about sometimes right after Halloween, all the way through past Groundhog Day, and sometimes even looking directly at spring break.
Into April.
We get hammered, by snow. Mm-hmm. Sometimes blizzards, sometimes hail, sleet, ice, black ice, all of that stuff. It beats your car up. It beats you up. You know what I mean? You got to get out the house, bundled up like
warm
Rudy.
Your car,
you know what I mean?
Ice the windshield.
Yeah, there you go. Say it. All of it. Turn the car on. Turn the heat on. Then you want to defrost the windshield. And then you got to get the snow off the top. And then sometimes it goes into your shoe or into your, you know what I mean? Your freak. No.
Tropical paradise for you?
Tropical paradise without a doubt.
Okay. My choice was actually, it all depends on who I'm going with. That's it. So I didn't pick one.
So we come to the pod and lie now.
No.
That's what we do.
No, but I'm saying if we decided to go to Big Bear, you and I, right? No children. We don't have to really deal with the snow.
How?
So if we go to Big
Bear. We got to drive up there.
You just drive
there.
Got
to get out the car.
And you get in the car and you light that fireplace and you order in. They got DoorDash and whatnot. They must have that stuff up there. People live there.
Spend the entire time
indoors
talking about how cold you are. It ain't never gonna be warm enough for you.
If they have heat in them cabins, then I'm straight.
I'm telling you, this is aspirational talk.
Sauna,
I know my life.
what? I mean, there are things. So I'm good. Again, it all depends on who the company is that I'm keeping.
Once again, every week, I find out something new about you.
I was actually bigging you up, but whatever. I can be in a tropical paradise with you. I can be in the snow. We gonna have a good time, baby.
I mean, that is true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's because we like each other, too. We'd actually like each other.
Yeah.
You're not my old ball and chain, my old lady. Right. Yeah. That's not our thing.
Okay, last one.
Sure.
Would you rather speak 10 languages or play 10 instruments?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's why I saved it for last.
That's a good one. I'm going to go instruments.
Okay.
You know I love music.
I know.
And in my next life, I'm coming back as Jay Dilla. And I'm going to be able to play these instruments.
2.0?
But he couldn't play them. So he found a way to sample all of these instruments, only to find out later that his ear was just as good as those who could play them. Oh, but I would learn how to play 10 instruments.
You would?
Yeah. Can you imagine me on the piano? When my friend Corron plays the piano, or my brothers, I get so jealous. It's like, how can they do that? They can make something so... Sorry.
Lessons?
Mm-hmm. I ain't got 10 years to get good. I'm trying to be good now.
Do you play instruments, Mark?
I can in theory, but not in practice.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm all MIDI. I can play anything with like producing it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fruity Loops gangsters.
Yep.
So I would pick languages.
Really?
I would.
That's interesting.
Yes. I as I'm learning Spanish from a different like side of my brain, I'm like, you've asked me. He asks me every day after, or not every day, but after every lesson, like, how is it going? I'm like, this is hard. And I didn't realize how hard it is. So if I'm given a gift to speak, or an option of speaking different languages or instruments, as much as I would love to learn an instrument, I think the pull is for me is learning language.
That's super cool.
10 languages, 10 different languages.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome, man. And then even traveling would have a whole different
right.
Feel to it.
I gather that if I can master one, that I can then conquer some others as well.
Well, they say if you know Latin, then French becomes easy, Italian becomes easy,
I don't know
Spanish
Latin.
becomes English. Yeah, that's why Latin in a lot of places
is like that's why they teach it,
that's why they
right?
teach Latin.
In certain
'cause
schools and
once you
whatnot.
have
Yeah.
it, it's easier. It's that foundation, that building block, I guess, if you will. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Thank
pretty
y'all
cool.
for playing.
That was dope. I dig that. That was definitely interesting and fresh.
Yeah. Gotta switch it
Fresh.
up a little bit.
Switch it up a little bit. How about the weather today? Sorry, it was 80-something degrees today.
So y'all excuse my beanie because it really
You Beanie
was
Siegel
warm.
today?
I'm Beanie Siegel right now.
All right.
But it was, what was it, 80 degrees today?
80 degrees.
It was wild.
Yeah.
Gotta love LA.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Gotta love it.
Okay. Off to one of our favorite segments, Shoot It Straight. It's where we tackle some issues, ideas, concepts, topics that are in vogue. You know what I mean? For the moment.
Yeah, hold on.
All right. Oh, speaking of in vogue, Dawn Richards. We'll talk about that later. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nonetheless, shoot it straight. All right.
What are you laughing at?
It's already funny to me.
Oh, okay.
It's already funny to me. So, an English man is convicted for stealing an 18-karat gold toilet from an English palace in the south of England. All right. Also, an aside, this place was also the birthplace of Winston Churchill.
Oh.
All right. So they rode up 3 or 4 deep in stolen vehicles.
Yes.
Right. In stolen vehicles, battle rammed, the gate to get in, got in there and dismantled this toilet that is usable. And if I'm not mistaken, there's different places that have it at 6 million. I've seen 8 million. Then I've also seen 10 million is what it's worth. So I'm sure you're going to get different reports from different places. But nonetheless, these gentlemen decided that they needed this toilet, this golden toilet of all things, the golden toilet. All right. So I'm going to let you have it because I've got so much to say about somebody stealing a golden toilet.
So, okay. So I did a little bit of research on said toilet and, okay. And so the guy or the brain of this crime, was actually there because he was doing some surveying or some research. So he happened to be there and he used the restroom. So he used the toilet and said it was like a blessed event for him.
Okay. A blessed event.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't use that adjective, but he was he was just talking about how like it was like blissful. It was like the best moment that he had ever had. And I'm like, dang, well, did he take a dump or what? Like, what did he do?
Right.
And so anyway, from there, that's where he got the idea to then rob the place. So he had surveyed it. He was there for, I forgot what his role was, but he was actually there for work.
Right.
So anyway, just a little bit.
He was working for show.
He was working. Yeah,
He was definitely working.
What do you call it?
Case in the joint.
Yeah, I was gonna say, right? I'm thinking of Home Alone right now, and the wet bandits. But anyway, so they spotted the 18-karat gold toilet. Yep, it's actually like considered art.
Absolutely, and that's where the value comes from.
Right.
Because it's art.
Right.
Yep.
So the gold is one thing, but the actual artist. Okay.
An Italian gentleman. Yep.
Yes.
It was called America.
America. And I was
brilliant.
like, shady?
It's brilliant. No, that's brilliant.
I mean, it is brilliant. I did laugh. I thought that was hilarious. But just what? So anyway, I really was just like, okay, this is like Crimes Gone Bad. And I know that was a show. I don't know what the title of the show was, but it was just like, what a flop, because they were so messy with it. And then they chop-shopped it. Like, cut it up and sold the... Why? Did you know that?
Because there's 3 of us. We can't all just bring it to one pawn shop. Let's chop this sucker up. You take the pipes. I take the toilet seat. You take...
I get that, but I'm just like, well, I guess, yeah. I mean, but how do you chop up a toilet?
Listen, for $6 million, I figured out.
And how about the toilet wasn't ever... They can't find it now.
Of course they can't find it.
Because they done melted that down and did... Yeah, okay. Well...
Yeah.
Anywho, I was like, is this really a thing? And apparently it was.
Right.
But the artist had a sense of humor about it. He says he hopes it was like a Robin Hood act. Steal from the rich, give to the poor. Guess
You mean steal from the rich and go to prison?
Yeah, because 3 of the 4 are locked up.
So I thought it was brilliant.
Did you?
Yeah, but there's also a show called Brilliant Idiots. Right? So 2 things can be true at the same time. They can be both brilliant and idiots at the same time. I mean, you're robbing a palace. Fam, it's one thing to maybe... I've seen a lot of these movies. You know, I love heist movies.
Right.
I don't know what it is. Mark, I love heist movies. It's something beautiful to me about people finding ways to take things from people who are a little flamboyant in their affluence, if you will. And I like the brains. I like the teamwork of it all. It's weird, but I like these
Oceans,
type of Oceans, The Italian
series.
Job.
Oh, yeah.
Den of Thieves. All of these movies are right on point for me. I love these things. But obviously they didn't really do a good prep.
Surveillance, folks.
Right, surveillance.
Oh,
right.
buddy.
I figured that maybe someone would have snuck in and waited till everything was closed and rewired the video, the surveillance system.
Right.
You know, the way they do in cool
the movies. Yeah.
Not these dum-dums.
Nope.
They just used the cars, stole some cars once. So imagine all of the charges that are mounting for these knuckleheads stealing cars and then ramming the gate, then busting into the home and then dismantling something and then so there's probably
there was like 3 or 4 charges to each. One was acquitted because the jury was just like, we got it with them, we don't need it with you. So
he was acquitted because he snitched. That's how this works, babe.
Oh,
that's
my
how
bad.
this works. Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah, that's how
I need to
works.
be a little more. Yeah. The jury. They said the jury. Whatever. Y'all are right. He snitched. Somebody had
to do it, and he did it.
He gonna die.
Nah, something don't tell me that these guys are murderers. I don't hear murderer in this.
I mean, they sound crazy.
But that don't make them murderers. But
Okay, fair.
I hear you. Yeah. So I thought it was brilliant. I thought they were a bunch of idiots, but I also thought it was interesting that it's a toilet. You know what I mean? But also I thought it was interesting that it was worth X amount of millions of dollars and considered art and called America. Ain't that the truth? Right.
Yeah.
Number 2, the new administration has ordered off secret services to the adult children of former...
He is so petty. My God.
Of former President Joe Biden. All right?
Yes.
So basically, y'all don't need no Secret Service no more.
Effective immediately.
You're trying to save some money. Put a couple ducats. All right? So
we cover your mama and your daddy.
Yeah, we covered your mom and your daddy. Y'all good. So we going to order off Secret Service. Y'all can figure it out on your own. Y'all here for yourself. Fend for yourselves.
Yeah.
Chumps, suckers.
But why did they have so many?
What do you mean? Why do they have so many? You know, all presidents have Secret Service. You know that, right?
No. So apparently the son had 18 different agents.
I say 20.
And then the daughter had 13 of them. And I'm like, wait, so like 2 isn't enough?
2?
Yeah.
You know how many guns can go certain places and they got to walk places and live life? They're going to the mall. They're going to school. They got places to be. They should have 18 Secret Service workers. Maybe
That
20.
many?
Listen, I was the president. I want 20. Give me 25.
I mean, I don't know what the president has, but I'm saying his children have 18. I'm like, I don't know. I
Right.
never saw these people before.
Super duper petty. Tom Petty.
He is, but I mean, this was actually comical. I say, you know what? Nothing's off the table with him.
Nothing.
Nothing.
He get to it. This administration is aggressive.
This, I had to laugh at this one.
Telling you. It's wow.
Effective, immediate. I said, wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. And finally, Starbucks lawsuit. $50 million was paid out to a gentleman from California
Yeah.
for an incident involving my absolute favorite, which is the medicine ball, which is now called like citrus tea or something.
So medicine, that's the street name.
That's the street. That's the street name.
That's the
medicine
street.
ball, baby.
Yes.
If you know what the medicine ball is, it'll get you right. I'm talking about a good solid what is it? What's the actual base? Do we know the base of it? The base tea?
It's like a lavender.
Yeah.
Lavender, lemony.
Mhm. Well, I get mine with extra lemon and extra honey.
Honey, yes.
Actually, as a coach, sometimes I'm losing my
Loses
voice.
your voice.
But that thing, boy, it gets you right. It's my favorite thing to get from Starbucks. Matter of fact, certain places during the basketball season,
They
when they
knew
pull
you.
up, hi, Steve,
You back.
you're back.
Is you only drink like a third of it and then put it in the refrigerator.
Right.
I nuke it and have it.
Well, long story short, or short story long, however you want to say it, the lid wasn't on properly. We've seen this before years ago with McDonald's.
Yep.
The lid wasn't on properly.
Yep.
Probably just a mishap. I'm sure the person meant no harm. But my man sustained 3rd-degree burns to his genitalia. 3rd-degree burns. He will never be the same, right? Never be the same. Nonetheless, it hit the word on the street is $50 million.
$50 million.
And Starbucks obviously, fought back and saying that they thought that was a bit too much. It's a little ridiculous, $50 million. Now, I'll go first on this one as a man. $50 million for the permanent damage done. I'll use damage to my genitalia, my reproductive organs, my Johnson.
So
right?
did they say it doesn't work anymore?
Come on. I'm okay. $50 million. I'm cool with that. $50 million? I don't think that's too much for losing my.
I don't think it's too much either.
Okay.
No. I don't disagree with that at all. It's so tough when you have to like monetize or try to quantify an amount that values the thing that you've already experienced and had. It's tough to hear that. So I actually was a little like annoyed. I will say
Annoyed at what exactly?
with Starbucks.
Okay.
Yeah, with Starbucks for like even putting a statement out like, oh, we thought that was absurd. How dare you? Like, how dare you? But permanent disfigurement because they had ordered 3 and they were all piping hot.
Woo!
And if you watch the video,
woo!
yes. So person hands it to him, but the lid was not quite on. And I've experienced this, but I typically don't drink hot drinks from Starbucks. So I don't like their coffee. So I've had that where like I'm getting the kids something and the top will kind of like come off. There's some drippage. Now the case or the holder is the cardboard is now soft. It has been a thing. So that was my first thought, like, oh shoot. So what if it were hot and burnt? All bad. So big kudos to him for getting that payoff. He was doing DoorDash.
Right.
He was doing DoorDash. So that is a come up. I pray that he can use some of that money to get things fixed.
Plastic surgery or something.
Or something to help him, because like I said, like I asked what was the damage, like can he still
Perform.
function? Yeah.
That's a big deal. I'm sorry. I don't 60 million, 70, right? They got it.
Sign the check.
They got it. They got it. But what I am wondering as a business owner.
2 skin graft.
Oh.
Sorry, he had to have 2 different skin grafts. Sorry, I just wanted to name that. The burn center confirmed that. So this is some serious
damage.
Yeah. Anywho, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, just on the business side, like what they do now. That's Starbucks. It's a major entity. I'd imagine as an organization that's, been around for some time, they put out a couple bucks. They get sued every now and again. That comes with the territory, right? So I'm wondering as an exec, what they're doing, what that email looks like, what the meeting looks like with the uppers before they send down to their regional directors and, people like that, because it's got to get disseminated. They're going to make an adjustment, right? They're not going to have this, they're not going to have people just pulling up, some copycat car. Oh my goodness. Oh no!
Right, like the protocol has to be. It's got to be tightened up.
Right,
now.
and it's an iced latte. And
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd imagine they're not going to allow that.
Right.
They're not going to allow that. So I'm just kind of wondering what happens now. How they revamp? Do they have some new tops made? Do they mandate some type of training for all? Do they have them watch some type of video via Zoom? I'm just wondering how it works. They're going to make an adjustment.
Oh, they absolutely
They
are.
just put out $50 million bucks.
Right.
In addition to all the other small little issues that they have
Claims,
that we don't,
things.
the
Right.
claims, what I
Right.
mean? So I'm just wondering how that works. It's going to be interesting.
I'm curious. Do you think can Starbucks like countersue the employee?
Ooh.
For
I don't think they can countersue, but I do believe that he or she no longer is an employee.
I'm sure she was fired.
Right.
In the video, it looked like a female. I don't know who she was, but I'm curious as to whether or not like they can sue her for like, here's the protocol. She didn't follow the protocol. Here we are.
I personally believe that they wouldn't take those measures simply because it's a bad precedent to take for your employees, your staff.
Okay.
Any mistake that we make that might harm someone, they might come after me.
Okay.
I think that would be
That's
the psychology.
Your businessman brain working.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, okay, I know they fired her. I'm
Right.
sure they fired her.
Right.
I'm totally assuming it, but
Right.
yeah.
They don't want to set that precedent for potential or prospective staffers, employees to come
Right.
in. They don't want it to, like, anytime I mess up,
Right.
then hurt somebody, then maybe I'll
morale will
be
be way
morale
down.
will be way down. That's a bad. You don't want that.
Okay.
You don't want that. But that's interesting. $50 million. $50 million. It's
So
a
him
lot of
and
money.
so Michael Garcia and Nick Rowley, that's the attorney. They
He
pay.
good. Right. He's good.
They are paid.
He is straighty 80.
Yeah.
Straighty 80.
Yeah. So back in 92, you did talk about it. McDonald's had some sort of similar situation. I remember it from,
Yep.
I don't know why I remember it, but I do. Well, probably because my parents are like the biggest coffee drinkers ever. So I do remember that way back. She was almost 80 years old, the woman who she suffered 3rd-degree burns as well on her lap. Not, she's female.
Yeah.
But she didn't, of course, think about time here, right?
Yeah.
She got 2.7, or she was going to be awarded 2.7 million, and ended up settling on an undisclosed amount. So I don't know. Y'all tell me what that means.
Undisclosed?
Undisclosed.
That means that, okay.
Did she get more? Or did she get?
No. She probably got less. So she probably took about 1.2 or 1.5, right? And it also means she signed an NDA. NDA means that you can no longer comment, talk, suggest to anyone else. So it's like we can.
So why would she take less then? Maybe she took more. Maybe she got more.
I doubt it. That's kind of not how negotiations work with these people, because they probably started at her lawyer probably said 3.5, and then they start going back and forth. 25, they start going back and forth and they start negotiating. But they also said, all right, we'll tell you what. If we give you blah, will you take it? And will you also sign these NDAs? Take it or leave it.
So wouldn't it be higher then?
I don't think so.
Because it says she was awarded 2.7 million, but then a judge reduced the jury's verdict. And so then they had the negotiation that you're talking about. And from there, they settled on an undisclosed amount.
Yeah.
So if, like, to me, okay, this is just me thinking, I could be totally wrong, right? But if we set out and it's almost $3 million, and then y'all are like, we're not gonna do that, but I need you to sign an NDA, y'all give me more money.
I don't think so. I don't think it works that way. I think there's something to be gained from not having a disclose for the public not knowing how much. Because
Yeah,
once
for
again,
McDonald's.
yeah, well, not.
But then
just
how does that help
McDonald's.
her?
It helps everyone by not having a designated money. So that way, if it happens again, that's where all lawyers will start.
Again, that protects McDonald's, though. That doesn't protect, like, I don't care about what you did, McDonald's. Like, I don't care about your name. I'm burned. And all she really wanted was, like, medical bills to be paid. That's how it started. She only wanted medical bills to be, but McDonald's was just like, yeah, so no, we're not paying it. And she's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to sue you.
Right.
So I'm saying, knowing that.
I bet they asked for more. I bet you they probably asked for more. And they settled on that number after negotiation and so on and so forth. And that NDA got signed.
Okay.
That NDA got signed.
I don't, okay, well.
That because Big Corp is they're gonna dominate the narrative.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. That, but I'm like, we're not gonna disclose it, but I'm gonna give you less money. I don't know. I think I think Stella gone now. That was a long time ago, but yeah, who knows? Right. Okay.
Yeah. So there, shoot it straight. That's our take on what's happening. Some crazy stuff out there, but keep on pushing.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
So let's have a little fun.
Okay.
Have a little fun. Today we want to take keep it light, but keep it honest, right? We're married 19 years now, right?
Yes.
19 years, it'll be 19.
It'll
be 19, right? Because 20 is next year, and we'll be celebrating next year.
Yes.
So almost 19 years. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now.
You stumped me.
It isn't. It's no, for people who know us, and for those of you who don't know us, or are married or in any type of relationship, it is not always roses and
unicorns
and sprinkles and all that good stuff. There are times that you are challenged. You know why? Because you're in a relationship with someone and you're living a life with someone. Both of you are entities. You are entities, and you guys have to negotiate life. You got to go to the grocery store. You got to go shopping. You got to drop kids off at school. Mm-hmm. You take trips. Sometimes you go places with your girlfriend. Sometimes you go work out. You go to church. You're part of your community or your synagogue or any of these, your mosque, or you go places and other humans are there. And there sometimes when you have a quasi, attractive mate, or you are an attractive human, right? There will be people who shoot their shot, who pursue you, whether it's just a flirt, whether it's a sexual advance. But either way, that's a thing. Mm-hmm. And for those of you who've seen The Best Man, the idea that marriage is the cure for promiscuity, that is a lie.
It's wild. That's
so a full lie. Mm-mm. That's a full lie. But nonetheless, that's something that you have to negotiate, right? Mm-hmm. Something you have to negotiate. Right? So here we are, and we both have been here, right? Mm-hmm. My wife is good looking, right? She's good looking. Depending on what she got on to, I bet you it's pretty, if it's rough for me, I know it's rough for some of the men out there, right? Right? I know. If it's rough for me, I know other guys have eyes too, And, as far as I go, look, if there's I don't know, Mark, if there's a handsomeometer out there, and I don't know, with Rick Fox being a 10 and some ugly gentleman being a 0, I'd like to think that I'm at least a 6 on the handsomeometer. I would like to
give
think.
You an 11.
You're supposed to say that. You give me an 8?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I appreciate that. 7.6 is shaky, right? He's not tall, dark, and handsome. Got it. Totally understand. But nonetheless, we have to negotiate it. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's have some fun with this.
Okay.
Shall we?
Sure.
Well, I have to ask, and I'm no fool, but you started telling me that you were not having problems. But I don't think at your place of work you've had any gentlemen really pursue you.
Which one?
Wow. Well, you were an educator for 135 years.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had any situations that you had to negotiate?
Yes.
Do tell. It's a podcast.
I mean, okay, I'm a woman, so there's a whole lot.
What does that mean? I'm a woman. What does that mean? Exactly.
Okay.
That men are dogs and that they'll pretty much go at everything and anything if it's in their vicinity.
Yes, but I'm not any or everything.
Oh.
So
You are my everything, Mary J. Blige.
thank you. So I mean, I guess yes. I think that men are not dogs. Not all of you.
Or bears.
Oh gosh.
As we heard earlier, right?
Oh gosh. That was a good argument. But anyway, and so because of it, I think that there's just a lot more opportunity. I think women are often, I don't use the word subjective, so give me a better word, but I think that there are a lot more opportunities for women to be approached. Mm-hmm. And I've gathered that before I lost some of the weight that I've lost, and even now after I don't feel like either situation I've had less play, if that makes sense.
Because I don't think play. You just say play. I'm gonna need you to use some terminology from this century, ma'am.
What do you want me to say? Give me the word. Give me the word that you want me to say, because you knew what I meant.
I don't think anybody knew what you meant when you said, "And I get play." 1999.
I was gonna say number, and I was like, I can't say number because he's gonna talk trash about me.
It's word back, please.
Anyway, so I think that as women, I don't want to use the word subjected, but there's just a lot more opportunities, and we could look a mess.
Absolutely. We don't care.
When I was like 30, 40 pounds overweight, I'm at the gym in my worst gear. You think that there weren't, moments?
Yes.
You think that there were not?
I know there were.
There absolutely were,
which care.
That's my point. But I didn't want to say, oh, that means you're a dog, or that means that's just kind of what happens. I think the difference now is that I'm more aware. I'm more in tune to that. I'm in that space and time. I give you an example. I was
nice. Tell it. That's what we want.
So I was at the gym. It was an older gentleman, and I was trying to incorporate weights into my my regimen. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so this is when I had just kind of been exploring some things right before the pandemic. So this is 5 or 6 years ago. And so I'm there, and I was using the machine, and I realized oh wait, he's using all of the ones that right after me. And so finally he says something to me, but it was just hey, do you come here most mornings? And in my head, I'm like, no, actually I don't. And I hadn't been coming in the mornings, right? So I was like, no, actually I don't. Oh, okay, cool. Are you looking? And I immediately thought, oh, he wants to train me. That's what I because in my head, in my brain, I'm like, I've just had this baby. So that gives you some context, right? I just had our second child. I'm overweight, postpartum is kicking my behind, right? Why would this man think that I was attractive? That was my thought. So we say whatever, we have our exchange of words, but it was nothing. I was just like, oh yeah, no, I don't need a trainer. My husband's got me. And I do a good job of going, my husband. I try to say that. I throw you
so
in. So
you were acknowledging that there might be some.
There might be.
He might be pursuing.
Right.
He might be throwing.
But that was way later.
What's way later? 10 minutes, 5 minutes?
So say I was in there for like 45 minutes and I had talked to him, say 20 minutes before, he kind of went away and I'm getting ready to head out to get home, to shower, to do all of the things because it was morning and I needed to get to work. And he ended up right by my car. Kind of wild. I was like, oh, let me name that I am married. And then he said, oh, and he made a comment about, because I was in your car. And so he's like, oh, you have a family car. And I said, oh, yes, I have a family. I have a husband.
Hey, whoever you are, you watch your mouth. All right, don't disrespect my vehicle. It's paid off. You understand me?
It wasn't then,
yeah,
but
that's,
it is.
That's wild crazy. That's what I took from this. I know that's what I took from it. I like my Nissan Rogue. You understand me? It's paid off. I got tints on that thing now, too. I'm fly out here. Don't laugh at me. I can afford another car. I just don't want to because I can afford this one. And it's paid off.
It's okay.
Watch your mouth.
It's okay. It's okay. Let me hug you.
Air hug. What's wrong with this dude?
So he made comment of
Mark,
the family car.
Not a family car.
And that's when I was like, oh, wait.
Sucker.
Yeah, he must have
Chump.
thought I was some young girl out here, like, trying to get abs or something. I don't know.
He was trying to get him some abs, boy.
Oh, gosh.
Trying to get his ab workout in.
Guts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that was really it.
40
But
pounds overweight means you got extra butt. It's extra booty. That's what he sees. Extra booty.
and
now.
belly.
Look, sometimes you can't see that. That's
Well,
how men are.
I mean,
men that appreciate tush, tail,
Again,
hiney, booty.
postpartum
The monkey.
is a whole another thing. So I'm saying that to say, like, I was in one frame of mind and he was in a totally different, and it took me a much longer than it probably should have to realize, like, oh, this is what you're doing. Oh,
Well, that means you didn't feel beautiful in that moment either.
no. Well, I kind of named that. So
No, you
yeah.
didn't.
I mean,
you insinuated it.
I inferred it. Yes, I think. And so, yeah. So yes, there's that piece, and we can get into that as well, because I think that that's another layer of this. As you know, like, as I've gotten older, more self-aware, ding 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 therapy, and a lot of other things, right? Like
Ding ding therapy.
well, you start to realize your worth. You start to realize certain things, or let me just speak for myself, right? I have begun to really realize my beauty in ways that I never had before. And so because of that, now I can be much more in tune, like, oh, that's what you doing.
Yep.
And so, yeah.
Men don't turn off. It doesn't turn off. At the grocery store, at the library, at church. It don't turn in traffic. It don't turn off. That's just how we're wired.
Right.
Y'all not wired like that. When y'all are, but not us. That's just not how it works.
Right.
We wake up. As a matter of fact, Mark, can you find out how many times men think about sex in a day?
You used to know this number.
I knew the number for teenagers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to use that against them.
Yes.
Yeah, but
I'm
there's
like,
a
you
number.
used to recite it. Like, what do you-
Right, there's a certain, you know why I knew it?
Why?
Because my daughter was coming into the world. And she was like 10 or 11. And we started to see things change on her body. And I was like, how many times do boys
Yeah.
think about sex per day? I know Google will tell me. You know what I mean?
You're saying men 19 times and then women around 10
Men think of sex 19 times a day or an hour?
a day.
A day.
Almost 1 an hour.
That's not as bad as I thought it was.
Women think about sex 10 times a day?
It is what it is.
Okay, I don't.
The numbers are. That means that some of y'all think of it 12 and some of y'all think of it 7. You got to get an average. Men, 19 times.
That's a
So
lot.
I can only imagine what it's like for teenagers. Probably double or
It's
triple.
probably double. Yeah.
Almost debilitating. It's almost
I think you
debilitating.
said it was something like 20
It was
something.
upwards of the
yeah,
20.
it was.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but you used to recite the number. But yeah. So in thinking about that, and you're absolutely correct, right? Like, you all don't turn it off. It's so many times that is just not,
Just not there.
unless I'm in a specific location, unless I'm in a space where that's kind of the energy. So like if we go to a lounge or we go somewhere where you're there to look and to
Right.
indulge.
Aesthetics mean something in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
And
intentional.
I'm not talking church, right? Because
Please knock it off. That's a thing too. That's intentional.
I know it is, but I'm
Yeah.
not. That's not what I'm referring to. I want to.
Yeah.
I know that that's a thing. Come on.
Absolutely.
How many
Anywhere
times do
there's
they tell
people.
you? How many times they tell you want to find a man, go to church?
How would I know that? I'm not
Oh,
looking for
sorry.
no man.
I mean, no, you're not. But
Ain't nothing no man can do for me. Sweaty, funky, musty. I'm good.
okay, so
I love women. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, it's interesting. So I guess where we have to take it is before anything could happen. You know what I mean? Once again, men are just different type of beasts. Flirting. There's got to be some type of flirtation. And I'm assuming that a flirt could happen anywhere, of course. But I'm thinking more of like a workplace where you're going to see someone where people have enough time to engage, right? You have enough time to engage where you're preparing for a meeting. You sit next to a coworker and, it takes 7 minutes to get started. Put your notebook down, put your phone down, you're having a back and forth. And then all of a sudden, wait, hold on, is this a flirt? So I guess I want to ask you for and from a woman, what constitutes a flirt?
I think I think like it's that moment where the look just lasts a little too long, or they say something that's just not quite in pocket, like it's just
got a little something on it.
What did you just say?
Yeah.
But you have an idea if you're in tune. And I mean, men, I hate to keep making these generalizations, especially when you're looking at me crazy after I say or start my sentence. Then I'm like, oh, what can I say? What can't I say right now? But I say what I want. But what I'm
tough guy talk.
I guess, but I think from what I've experienced, right, at work, is like there's like a slip up in a text. So like you have numbers, okay, in the educational space, there's a lot of communication that's happening via text, like, hey, I need you in room 210, or I need you here. So you have people's numbers, right?
Well, in the education realm that you were in.
But I mean, I can transfer that idea to a lot of different spaces in education.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking educational, but I can transfer that like, oh, well, no, at this school, during this time, I had to tell so-and-so like, hey, I need you here. And so there's a lot of room and there's a lot of exchange that can happen, right? Yeah. And so there were moments where, there was a moment in particular where I texted someone that I was working closely with, and he wanted to tell me that he was hungry.
I know where this is going. Mark, you already know where this is going. He wanted to tell you he was hungry.
Yes. Like I need to get to lunch, and I don't know if it auto-corrected, but in my head, I'm like, how many times do you text that to somebody? Because, and I got one of those texts. So in all fairness, like I took it as like, okay.
You knew what it was.
I knew what it was. And I mean, it was what it was. He was apologetic, and it was whatever.
I think you might have actually told me this one.
I know I told you about it.
And I was the first one to tell you he ain't mean it like that, because men don't even talk like that.
No.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying like he's telling somebody this, because if your text goes that it populates how it's been normalized to populate. So he's telling somebody. He wasn't telling me, but he's telling somebody that. Right. So, it's just moments like that where there's just like an inching of a crossing of the line, and you can gauge that, and especially if you're in tune.
Man, if that was on company time, we could have got some money.
It was on company time. We were in a meeting together.
You got to be sharper. Sharper, Lizzie. All right. So what's the worst that you've ever been pursued?
Wait a second, because I'm answering all these questions. You're not answering a question. I'm like waiting for the back and forth here. Hi. You answer.
What would you like to ask?
No, I wanted you to respond to the question that you asked me.
Well, once again, men are dogs. All right, that's what we are. I can say that. Come for me. I don't know. Put it in the comments. Come for me. Like, subscribe. Come for me. Right? But we are what we are. You know, I mean, we're wired a certain way. It's always on, never turns off. So what that requires is that you now you have to have a plan of action. You have to know how to move out here. Specifically, let's keep it in context. When you're married or you're in a committed relationship, you got to know how to move. Now, you know, for context, I wasn't a super loyal boyfriend at times.
No.
But when it comes to marriage, I don't play games.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Say that
Shout
again.
out to my mother. You know what I mean? Shout out to my mother. I love her. She told me, she was like, marriage ain't to be played with. It is not to be trifled with. You mess up with marriage, it will be an explosion that you might not be able to, you know, you can't repair some of this stuff.
Right.
Right. So when it comes to marriage, I don't play. You know, I don't even play those games. But that doesn't mean that I was right out the gate fantastic.
Armored up.
And it takes time, just like anything. As a coach, one of my favorite sayings that I got from Max Ward when I was in college playing balls: repetition leads to habit, leads to reflex. You know, once again, repetition leads to habit, leads to reflex. And what that really means is that you got to be steadfast, and you've got to be really, really locked into how you're going to move in this world. You know what I mean? Once again, like I said, you know, I don't think I'm the ugliest guy in the world, but I don't think I'm
not at all
Rick Fox, right? So at the end of the day, there's some people.
You better looking than Rick Fox.
Hey, I'm being silly. Knock it off, right? But all jokes aside,
being serious.
All jokes aside, all right, let's get specific.
Go for it.
Let's get specific.
Go.
We're talking maybe a year or two into our marriage. I'm not playing ball at this time.
Oh.
Right? I'm moving into the semi-corporate world. It's not a corporate situation, but it is a world where there's professional. You know, it's a professional realm. So I get myself a full-time job.
Just trying to be professional.
Full-time gig, right? So you have your cubicles, old school. Cubicles, phones, for us, offices, right? And my office happened to sit on the other side, kind of sit in a cut behind everything. So you get off the elevator and you can see everybody's cubicles and all that good stuff. But for me, you had to get off and either you knew where I was or you didn't. Or you didn't. So
I knew your office.
Yeah, they knew my office, right? So in this situation, you know, you've heard this 1,000 times, but just for context, there was a young lady who I don't think was working there. She must have been an intern. Had to be an intern. Or we had a school downstairs, right? We had a school downstairs, a GED school.
On the
so
second
it could have
floor.
been, it could have been, but I just know that I had
student.
never seen this young lady before.
Right.
Right? So I'm sorry, just in passing. In passing. Hey, good morning. Because that's right. Sometimes she would work the front desk. Hey, good morning. Going upstairs. You know, they got to find out where, you know, what agency you work for inside of the building. They hit the button, they open the door, you go upstairs, right? Thinking nothing of it. Well, maybe a couple of months into the situation, Mark, this is real talk. I'm not making this up. She appears in my office, knocks on the door, open my door, trench coat. So the stuff you see in movies. Trench coat, Mark. It's a real thing. And I'm like, hey, you know, how can I help you? Right? That trench coat opens, belt falls to the floor. Lingerie, lingerie, negligee, whatever you want to call it, straight up and down. Now, remember, we live in Connecticut. It's cold outside. This was premeditated. This ain't just happened, right? Or maybe she came to work with the whatever.
Who knows?
It don't matter. Now, you got to understand, I don't really know how to move. You know what I mean? I am a human. Mark, this wasn't this is an attractive young lady, without a doubt, right?
And remember, can I just jump in? I'm not his type. So
She doing here you go.
I am not his type. I am stereotypically not your type. And she was your type. Stereotypically. When you told us, I know the story. So I already know where he's going. And she was that prototype. So I want to add that because I think it's an archetype. Yes.
Good context. Good way to jump in. So at this point, not only am I embarrassed, but I don't know how to move. This is, like you just said, it looks the way it's supposed to look, right? And I'm a man first, right? And I'm also married. And I'm also at work. And I'm also wondering, like, am I being pranked? I have no idea where to go with this. This has never happened before. Now, I've had women approach me, but I've never had this happen. This is like a movie. Am I dreaming? Is this real? How do you move? I can't get out the door because there's only one way in. I can't even run, right? I can't even run. So what I did was I found a way out of there. But to get out of there, that still means that there's got to be contact.
Yep.
It's got to be contact, which is tricky. I'm a man at work. If I deny her, she could easily flip this around and say, homeboy did this, that, and the third. I'm worried about that too. Everything's firing off. What is my wife going to think about me? Am I going to lose my job? Am I going, you know what I mean? How could I move? So I find my way out of there. And I figured that when I came back in a couple minutes, young lady would be gone. Not so much, right? So I'll go get my partner, go to his office. My man, Mark, I go get my guy. And I'm like, my man, you'll never, ever, ever believe what's happening right now as we speak. Do tell. Do tell. My man, shorty in my office, trench coat, negligee, throwing it at me right now. Swear to God. Say word. Say word. That's my guys. Say word. I said, fam, I'm trying to tell you, she probably left the office, but I'm trying to tell you what just happened. I'm probably talking super. I don't even know how you understood what I was saying. Long story short, we go over there, Mark, go back to the office. She's still in there.
Yep.
She's still in there, Mark. She's still in there, which means this is like, she's completely like, I don't care. Who knows? This is about to pop off, homeboy. This is going to pop. Don't act like. And you could tell, side note, that she had never been turned down by anyone before. You can tell. And I bet you there's older men and older gentlemen, because I have no idea. This could be a student.
Story.
Could be an intern. Right? You don't know. So I bring my homeboy in there, and I'm just like, yo, my man right here. Let my man do his work. Like, you know what I mean? And she was like, no, I ain't coming here for him. Mark, this really, I didn't come in here for him. I came in here for you. So I'm like, yo, I'm married. And you're not the first married man. I said, she's been here before. She's been here before. So once again, Mark, I found a way out of that sucker. I found a way out. I don't know how I got my way to the exit. My partner is sitting in that seat. He is thoroughly amused. Like, how is Steve going to handle this one?
Well, how'd you handle it?
How'd I handle it?
Yes.
I went and sat in the car, Mark. I called my father, as I always do. I don't think I've ever told you this part. I didn't tell you this part.
Surprises.
So, yeah, for context, I got a good father. Real
Yes.
talk. And I shared with my pops, hey, 911, I know you're busy. Get back to me as soon as you can. He said, give me 10 minutes. He called back in 9 minutes and 49 seconds. My pops. Way to come through for me, bro. I said, pops, this is happening. And I tell him the whole shebang. I didn't leave out any of that to the good Dr. Bishop, Stephen Hodge. And he was sharp. You know what I mean? Having been an imperfect man, having been a human, you know, man of faith, all of that stuff. And having also been a good looking man, right? So I'm sure he's been here. Come on, if you're in leadership, Mark, there's no way in the world you're not getting approached by women. All right. I've seen my father get approached. Like he's a gangster with it. He's fly. So he was like, I tell you what, he said, what's happened so far? Have you touched her body? No. Have you engaged? No. Have you told anyone? No. Has anybody, any of your other coworkers? No. Yes. He said, all right, cool. You have somebody who can vouch for you. Good. He said, you're moving well. You got somebody who can vouch for you and protect you in the event that she tries something. Now, and my father, I love my father too. Are you interested? I said, Pop. He said, no, I need to know. Are you interested? I said, Pop, she's good looking. He said, all right, cool. I needed to know that. He said, what you got to do is you got to make her hate you for a little while. He says, I'm not telling you to disrespect a woman, but you're going to need to disrespect her or do something to make her really, really upset with you for her to leave, because you can't put your hands on her in any capacity. That's a woman. This can go wrong for you. And this is pre-cell phones. And we had cell phones, but not, you know, we had Blackberries. So it wasn't, you know.
It wasn't free.
It wasn't free and all of that stuff. We didn't have the capabilities. That's so my brain doesn't go there. Right now, everybody's natural instinct is to put their phone up. So as I engaged in this moment with my partner there and with this girl here, with her open, standing there, boom, open, boom, boom, boom. I don't remember exactly what I called her, but I know I had to call her out of her name. I had to say some things that I really wouldn't say to a woman, straight up and down. I'm a pretty tough dude, but my wife would tell you when it comes to women, I'm soft. When it comes to girls, I'm soft. It just is what it is. I'm a protector, leader, you know what I mean, in that sense. But long story short, it was enough to get her to leave. It was enough to get her to walk out that door. You got to be the dumbest MFer I've ever met that let me know that I did my job, right? Now, I can't make this up. I'm just not that funny. But coincidentally, I told my wife this and a few people that I've told the story to, I never seen this young lady ever again. They had no record of her name because I don't know her name.
Right.
And I'm also scared to say what happened. So I can't really go tell too many people. But my investigative, my little investigation, going through the different floors, nobody knew who she was. That blew my mind. Almost like it was a definitive test, an evil test. You know what I'm saying?
Not today, Satan.
Not today, Satan. I'm dead serious. It happened, and that's how it popped off. My pops was there for me. I survived it, and I made sure that I never ever let that door be locked, or if it wasn't locked, it was always open with the things open. Like, no, y'all not coming for me. But it was a scary moment, scary, and I didn't share that with you for years.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
We were here.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know how to approach my wife about that. You know what I'm saying? I can't risk any whatever. So I didn't say anything about it, and I survived. That's a real thing, man.
Yeah. So, yes, I have heard this story before, a couple times actually. I don't think you told me till around the pandemic. We were just home. We were just laying stuff out here, having conversations that we had never really had. And you did share that story, and it was like, oh, wow. So that's what you put in place to protect us, to protect our family.
No, that's not even it. That's not even it.
What?
But thank you for sharing that. I'm gonna let you get back to it. But real talk, shout out to Canty. Shout out to my man T Blunt.
Okay.
And whoever the coaching staff was. I think it was Freedom as well.
Okay.
And working at Campbell Hall, my first private school gig. So they got a couple dollars, Mark. We're heading off to a big tournament. So when we went to a big tournament, or tournament, how some people say. I'm from the East Coast, sorry. Not from New York either. But they got us the big bus. The big trailway bus, whatever it is. And there's food. There's food, you order your food for you. It's lush, it's nice, beautiful. And during that time with the coaches, we had a quick conversation. And somebody finally asked me, like, yo, you been faithful the whole time? This is stuff that men ask. You know what I mean? You got a guy who's married, nobody else is married. Like, yo, you been faithful the whole time? Yeah. How do you do it? Like, for real, how do you do it? And that's when I realized that I did actually have a true plan of action in place. I have a list of things, or I have a checklist of things that I do to avoid falling. I'm no more noble than any other man. I'm no more noble than than any other man.
I don't know if that's true, but okay.
Yeah, I'm serious. I only try, right? So for me, the mindset is, hey, not only am I cheating on my wife, I'm also cheating on my children, right? So you're cheating on two people, because at the time I only had, one child, but I had my wife. So I'm cheating on two people. Not only that, if something goes wrong, I've completely dismantled everything we've worked for, right? For a moment that can be controlled, even though it's hard. So that's the mindset. But this moment will probably happen over and over again, because I'm out here. I coach. I train, I travel, I had a company. You're in leadership, so people see you. I like to keep my hair cut. You know what I mean? I like to look nice. I like to smell nice, right? And I think I'm I've got a little charisma, a little charm, right? It takes that to be a coach. And I'm a little off too. There's that piece, but nonetheless. So I told them, in the event that I'm in a room, I acknowledge attraction. I acknowledge it. Mark, I truly acknowledge it, like it's happening. There's a woman here who's caught my eye. How do I move? Okay, steer clear, because you're not leaving anytime soon. This is a thing that's happening, right? Now, it's different when you catch eyes, or you're like, oh, she's attracted to me too. Now that's a problem, because your brain starts to race. As a real man, men have done this. You think about ways to do it and ways to get away with it. And that's where your mind, and as some people would say, not some people would say, but in all actuality, that's actually a quote unquote sin, because you've done it in your head. It's the thought's already there. But we're humans. We're on this earth. We're wrong, blah, blah, blah. So how do I move? Steer clear. Stay away, right? Now, if you have to engage, short, concise, no contact, right?
Like no physical
Like
contact?
no physical contact.
Okay.
None of that, right? None of that. And if you have to engage, it's real quick. The words, concise, efficient, no, nothing. Bah, 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 and be gone, right? Third, if it escalates and those two things are failing, run.
Oh,
Not run, but turn and find an exit.
pivot.
Move, remove yourself. Get outside or get somewhere else and regroup, because you recognize that if you get out of there, you can think about everything. You can be everything out there, right? So that's what I do. I got 1, 2, and 3. And
Stop, drop, and roll.
stop, drop, and roll. We laughing, but this is real talk. And once you begin to do it, Mark, like once you start to do these things, you recognize that it's repetition leads to habit, leads to reflex. Now you don't even think about it. Oh, that's nice. Oh, she's cute. So yeah, and next thing you know, years go by, and it's something that you're practicing. And now the idea of cheating is so far from my head. It's like I got something in place already. You know what I mean? I'm going to be successful because it takes effort to be successful at something like this. We're humans. I live on earth with other women. My wife is beautiful and I love her, but there are other attractive women, and that's not going to change. But I can't compromise my wife. I can't compromise my children. And I also don't want to come home, have to explain to my daughter or my son that I fell or failed, right? So that's how I move. Knock it off.
That was worthy of.
Knock
You
it
just
off.
gave a lesson.
For free too.
For
Subscribe, hit that like button. No, I'm serious. It's
So am I.
I'm sweating now too, because it takes effort.
Well, how much effort does it really take? Let's talk about that.
Not as much effort as it takes to come home and see my.
Oh my gosh. Anywho, I mean,
How about you? How do you handle it?
Okay,
Because I know I ain't the only good-looking human in the world. Because I know when Michael B. Jordan be on the TV, you act a certain way. So I'm just asking.
and I look and I keep it moving because so I look and I keep it moving. Now, if he was in my presence, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I feel like women are just made.
I'm changed a lot.
We're just built differently. So we're just built differently. I mean, look at the numbers, right? 9 times more y'all are thinking about sex. That number was wild to me because I don't think about it that much. But I think in the other like we're always thinking about our family. We don't have to train our mind to think about the family. We just automatically, so many decisions that we are making are already in line with what do we have going on. So there's a whole lot of, for me, especially with my ADHD brain, right? Like I have a lot going on in my head. And so, like I said, somebody could be approaching me or could be attempting to have a conversation or take it somewhere. And I'm totally like, I'm not there. I'm not there. I immediately think of you and our children. That's just an automatic for me. And so I don't know if this is necessarily a fair, or a balanced conversation because that war doesn't, I don't have that type of battle. I've not had that type of battle. And I think part of that is because of how I'm built. Maybe it's just me, but I imagine I'm not the only one. But I think the other part to that is we talked about confidence, but also in thinking about just thinking, I don't know how else to say it.
It's not how you built.
It's not, no, but I don't, because I know that there are women who are built differently than me. Mm-hmm. I've had friends that are just like, I can't do this faithful thing, but they're not married.
Right.
And so they move a little bit differently. And I mean, sometimes there's trauma. So there's reasons for that. But I also think that, I also think it's really fair to say that I'm trying not to like name a person or use a specific, so I'm trying to curb my words, and I apologize for that. But I also think that when you're in a healthy and loving relationship, whether you're married or not, it's really easy for a woman to just have all eyes on their partner. And so I can jokingly talk about another person that I think is attractive, right? Or I can look at this person. We watched a movie and I felt so guilty one time because I was like, this man is fine. And I'm watching this movie and I wasn't thinking like, oh my gosh, I want him to like bang me. That's not what I was thinking. But I really was like, oh my gosh.
How am I going to make it through this podcast if I can't get my wife to freaking bring her vernacular into the 2000s at least?
Because this is stuff we don't talk about. We don't typically talk about these things, but
tag, hit, smash, bang.
Bang, bang, bang. No, I'm kidding.
I was thinking about the streets, so that was funny.
But yeah, so
My wife is not for the streets, Mark.
I'm not for the streets. I'm not for the streets. No, right. But you know, like I can look at another person, I can look at another man and go, dang, that's a good looking man, and not think like anything more than that.
Actually, we've done that at the same time. I mean, not that sounded wrong.
I don't know.
That sounded wrong.
No, I mean, I can look at a woman.
We're mature enough at our age. Like, it's like, that's a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Mark, case in point, we went to one of our homeboys' wedding. And he's Ghanaian. And his wife she's got East African in her family. Well,
all the women were beautiful.
All the women are beautiful.
All of them.
The grandmothers, like everyone was beautiful. It's been said that the most beautiful woman is probably East African. You know what I mean? So we're sitting in that wedding, and it's not like we're gawking but we're both acknowledging, these women are gorgeous, and how these guys are winning because they not it.
Uh-oh. I didn't say that, but
these dudes is winning.
Yeah, there were so many beautiful people in that space, and it was just like, wow,
it's a lot of good looking people.
It was a lot to take in.
Yeah,
it definitely was a lot to take in. And so that's, I think, what I wanted to get at without like taking jabs at my friends or their dating situations or anything like that, right? Is like when you're in a really grounded relationship, whether you're married or whatever the case may be, right? Like for women, we don't have that same struggle. Yeah. And if I'm misspeaking, please come and correct me. But I imagine that when we are happy, we're good. Mm-hmm. And so we can see somebody and like, and I tell you, they fine, and we'll keep it moving. Right. And that's the extent of it.
It's maturity. There's other good looking men on this earth. And what can I do? That will continue to be as long as we are here, right?
Right.
So it's like the maturity of our maturity level allows us to move about in such a way that suggests that we can handle it.
Right. I will say that, and I want your 2 cents on this, because there are moments where I know, like in your positions and the circles that you move in, right, that there are sometimes women that are beautiful, potentially could be approachable. I don't really have an idea, but I do still feel like a sense of jealousy. At times I feel a sense of possession. And so when you say like maturity, I'm like, I'm not always so mature. I'm not always like
jealousy is an emotion. You just have, I think
it's such a juvenile emotion.
The book that I'm reading, Jason Wilson, man the moment requires.
Okay.
The man the moment demands.
Uh-huh.
He's in so many ways talking about being that comprehensive man.
Okay.
That I love to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, you can't give one emotion more value than the other. It's like when people talk about sin. Murder is no more different than
the values
blah, blah, blah.
are the same.
The values are the same, and it's how you manage it. So, for you to say it's a juvenile, I disagree. I think it's an emotion. You know what I mean? It's how you negotiate it and how your emotional intelligence allows you to move past or, So yeah, don't do yourself like that.
Well, I mean, so I do think that you're right. A feeling is a feeling is a feeling. Yes, I get that. I just think at certain ages and stages, you should have developed some sort of practice or something to manage those feelings differently.
Most people don't.
And but I don't want to be most people.
Hey.
So that's why I'm saying it. So when I'm thinking about like there are times, like say we're at a party, you are much more of a mingler than I am.
If you can get me out the house, yes.
Right. I mean, I think, or let me it depends on the setting. So if we're out in a space and there's music or, things like that, I'm good because all I need is music. Right. But like to have small talk with people, that's not my thing. I'm following your lead here. Okay. So when we're in certain spaces where it's a more of a like small talk type situation, I can't carry a conversation. I just don't do well in that. So when I'm seeing people who a parent or or just people that you're around, and I see somebody that I'm like, okay, so she cute and he might be coaching. Okay. I do have to negotiate some of those feelings at times. And I think it's a good thing because I think I'm like, okay, this isn't like automated love. This is like an automated feeling.
I understand.
You get it?
I understand.
It's not like this is locked in because we have 18 years behind us. No, I really like F with this dude. Yeah. I really like him and I want to be with him and I find him attractive. And those are good like
indicators,
reminders for me. Yeah. Like we're not just we still together.
Right.
Like we're not in that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I want to say that because in the same way that I'm just like you don't necessarily have to worry about that with me, right? Like you don't because we're in this and we locked in and whatever. I believe that to be true of you, but my natural instincts, maybe some of my own experiences have taught me, and I'm not talking about when we were dating. That's not what I'm referring to, but just thinking about like that walk and having this walk and I just be like, no, my husband is fine and I should be aware or I should be considering those things.
I think that's healthy.
Yes.
And it's the same. It doesn't change for men. You know what I mean? I recognize, that my wife is, she's attractive. I'm no fool.
Did you just recognize that? Is that what you said?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
I swore you said just.
You can get your jokes off.
I swore you said just.
Well,
I just recognized.
I strike that from the record. I didn't mean to say that. I misspoke.
Okay. I was like, word?
But I recognize. Watch your mouth.
Your kids.
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
Stretch me all the way out. Anyway, go ahead.
I recognize that you have to run the gauntlet of life just the same way I do. You go to the grocery store. You take your walks every morning with every color of legging in the world. Blue, black, silver, mixed, right? And we live where we live. You know what I mean? So there's black folks of all ages. You know what I mean? And you come home with a different story. This dude said this and this dude said that and this guy said that. But I recognize like, yo, this is what it is. You know what I mean? And I have to trust. And I've never felt like, oh, I got to worry about this or that on your behalf. Now, there are times where I recognize there's a level of naivete with you.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And both of us.
Guilty.
You know what I mean? At times. So that's where the husband has to stand in. You know what I mean? That's where you kind of got to bring that extra component of protection and wisdom. You know what I mean? Like, hey, it's time to go now.
Or you poke or you do something.
Yeah, I poke or something. Or if we're in the gym, I'm going to need you to turn this way. All right? I'm going to need you to turn this way. You know what I mean? Because I'm no fool. Dudes will look with me being there or not. Men going to get their glance. Up there it is, bang, we out. All right, got that. You know what I mean? That's just who we are. It's a look. You know what I mean? But I'm mature enough to handle that. Now, if there was no one ever looking at your wife, you got a problem. Your wife is trash, bro.
Don't say that. Jesus.
I didn't say anybody's name. I'm just saying your wife is trash if you never have to negotiate some type of like nobody ever looking at your wife. What's so funny, Mark? Some people marry trash wives. It's a thing.
Oh my gosh.
And husbands too. Some women, listen, not everybody marries good looking people. And I'm not sitting here saying that we're, you know what I mean, the finest things in the world or whatever. I'm just
We
saying
are the cream of
that
the crop.
people,
I'm kidding.
our kids are better looking than us. You know what I mean? And speaking of that, I have to negotiate that as well with my life. I have to navigate through this world of having a daughter. You know what they say, you know what I mean? When you have a son, you only got one Johnson to worry about. When you have a daughter, you worried about everybody's Johnson.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you said that before.
It's the truth. Because now I got to worry about everything. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't easy. You know what I mean? But with your naivete, have you ever had a moment where you're being pursued only to find out later that you were being pursued and had no idea that you were being lured into a trap and potentially, what's the word? You were being preyed upon.
No.
No?
Yes.
No?
Apparently, okay, so there is a scenario.
Here we go.
If you ask me, the answer is no.
We're not asking you.
You did ask me.
Oh, okay. That's
so you did ask. You asked my opinion.
That's real fly. What you just did right there. That's real fly.
So okay.
Don't make me do it.
I'm gonna talk about it, but I don't believe it to be this. But whenever I tell the story to other people, they believe that it in fact was that I was being pursued. So I was not being pursued by somebody, but at a rough patch in our marriage, it was a down point for us.
It was a low moment.
It was.
For
we
sure.
weren't getting along financially. There was a strain. There was just a lot of stress and things like that. And so like women do, they tend to like commiserate in female spaces. And so I started hanging with someone that I believe was a friend of mine. And so we would connect and we would do stuff and hang out often, which is not abnormal for females. Some time progresses. You and I are on an uptick, and she got weird. Things got weird. There was a trip that we were supposed to go on that we used to go every year. I can't look at you with a straight face. So we go on this trip every year. Like I said, financially, we used to have our strains. And so we would maximize that time, family time, when like he had a tournament in another city. There would be a hotel stay that was paid. And so we would maximize those times. And usually we'd stay at a hotel with a pool. And so, she had stuff that she could do X, Y, and Z. So that was a situation. It wasn't in our usual space, but it was in a different space. So we were headed to like what, Palm Springs or?
It don't matter.
Okay, fine. So we're getting ready to go to this place like we typically would. And the friend got really angry. Why aren't you reaching out? Why aren't you like texting me? Why can't you talk? And I'm like, okay, well, service is kind of bad, A, and B, like I'm doing stuff while I'm here. I'm with my family right now. And backtrack a little bit, she had asked me, she had like family or something like that. So she had asked me like, hey, I'm going to go and stay with my family so I can be in the vicinity. Maybe you and I can hang out while you're here. And I was like, no, because that's like our family time, And so I was just kind of like not interested. Fine. She got really upset, started posting things. This is some years ago. So posting like subs, and I could see the post and be like, wait, is she referring to me? But it was totally like going over my head. A, because
she was shooting. Her feelings was hurt.
Yeah. And like, I'm not gay. So I'm not like, I've never even like danced in that arena. So for me, I was just like, where is this coming from? I didn't say anything to you because he was working. It wasn't really a vacation. He had to work. We just got to lounge, all that. I didn't tell him until after the fact.
And what I say?
Yeah, she was upset because apparently
she was on your helmet. You hurt that girl's feelings. She was pursuing you. She knew that you were vulnerable, and you had no idea because that, like you said, that's just not where your mind goes. You don't shoot that way. That ain't how you get down. You're married, so none of this stuff is on your mind. But yet, I believe this woman was already hurt herself. You know what I mean? Dealing with her stuff. Mm-hmm. She found someone to commiserate her pain with, while also propagating.
Uh-oh. That's a real word?
That's a real word.
I'm kidding.
Propagating her love and what she could provide for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? In the moment. And I think that's no different than a man who knows. And I think back to, what movie was it? When Lorenz Tate came back from the war, he wasn't right. Oh, and they tried to
dead presidents.
Mm-hmm. And my man was like, don't ever bite the hand that feeds you, because while he was away, he was messing with his girl.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was providing something that she needed in the moment.
Right.
And once he came home, that deal was off.
Right.
But not for him.
No.
And as men are men, he made it known that I want you to know what I did for your girl while you was gone. Mm-hmm. Which he was trying to break him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She didn't like you. I knew that for a fact. And I was just like, oh man, like this is why I don't talk about my relationship. Mm-hmm. This is generally because
there's a lesson.
And so you definitely don't want to talk about a relationship when it's like sour with a new friend, because
even if you need to dump, you got to find a safe space.
Yeah, it was just a lot of things that I learned in the space. In hindsight, I still don't necessarily see it that way, because I still don't, because there was no
look at Mark's face.
Mark,
sorry,
side with help me.
Ain't no
because
help.
There was never.
She was coming for you, bro.
Apparently, the emotional connection it was non-existent for me. Like, you were my friend, and I'm talking to you as a friend, and that's how I saw it. Again, I don't have any proof of otherwise.
We're talking, 8 years later?
Yep.
9 years later?
Probably.
And you still can't see it? Wow. Wow. That woman was coming for you. You had no idea what she was doing. Mm-hmm. The moment you and your husband repaired your relationship, or it was on an uptick, as you said, she dismissed herself. But only dismissed herself.
She didn't dismiss
angrily.
Herself. There was a lot of.
That's what happens.
There was a lot of frustration.
That's what happens. If someone didn't know y'all and seen it, they probably would have thought, like, "Oh, I thought that was your shorty." See, look at your face. Look at your face.
Because there was
Look at your face. Look at your face. You had no idea. It's okay.
All the feelings that I had were platonic, and she didn't express anything that felt romantic. It was only when things got, like I said, when we had gone on the trip, and I was like, okay, what the heck is happening? But again, like, female friendships can be really layered, and they can be very possessive. That I don't think that's a healthy relationship.
I think everything you're saying is true, and I think both things can be true at the same time.
Yes.
I'm just saying, I'm a human. I have eyes. I ain't always gonna get it right, but I promise you, I got it right on this one. So did the other people that you explained the situation to.
I only explained this to one other person, and
what was the prognosis? How did they feel?
Like you? Mark, help me out.
I got nothing for you on this one.
He's pleading the fifth, okay?
Fourth,
is pleading
third, second, first,
fifth.
it don't really matter.
And that's fine. Like, there was, like I said, again, and I'm going to use this statement, in that moment, I couldn't see it. In this moment, I can't see it. But there were also moments in where men were certain ways, and I didn't see it until it was blatant for me. But I believe that that's because of a level of confidence, and like if you don't see yourself as someone that's attractive, or you don't see a real value in what you bring, then you won't necessarily be in tune with whatever that other person sees.
I agree, but I also agree that you can sometimes be very literal. And that literal side of you sometimes creates a blind spot. Right. You see what I'm saying?
Like, why would I think?
But serious. But sometimes you and your son are very similar in this respect. If it's not, if you guys are so literal, you know what I mean? You're very, very literal, and sometimes things have to be spelled out. And you don't mean any harm. You know what I mean? But you're not catching the subtleties of the language.
The cues.
And
I'm
the
not.
Cues
Sometimes I
that
don't.
are given by others sometimes, not just regarding something like this, but regarding other things. You know what I mean? Where a guy like me, my eyes are always open. I'm always like,
and you're like 20 steps ahead. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm just anticipating like steps 2, 3, and 4.
And then
here.
Mark, when it happens, you know what she says?
Oh.
I'm like, hey, this is chess. It ain't checkers.
So
There's
we hadn't talked about that.
Communication. People are always talking, even if they're not talking. They're talking with their body. There's a language. There's a language that everyone uses. And I'm not saying I'm a spy or something like that. A spy who's set by next to whatever. But it's like people, when they walk into your presence, or if they're not in your presence, if you just lock in and pay attention a little bit, they'll tell you everything. You don't have to say a word to me. If you walk in a room, I can tell everything, not that's on your mind, but I can see how you're moving. I can tell if you want to say something that you don't, but you're afraid to. So I say something to prompt you, so you're comfortable. I can see. I tell you all the time. I see people picking wedgies and tripping on escalators all the time, and sometimes I just look at them like, yeah, I seen it. Deal with it. And sometimes I'll do like this.
Here. Yes, I do that.
Head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just turn my head like, I don't want you to feel that
You're
way.
Fine. Yes.
Yeah, I don't want you to know that I just seen you put your whole hand down the back of your nasty drawers.
But don't try to shake my hand and
you
had it in that nostril.
Don't you dare try to shake your hand. Nasty, filthy. That's gross. Well, wash your hands.
Right.
And put some, anyway.
So, I think those were some really good examples of, I was going to use some slang. I'm not going to use it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Go ahead. So
What about me? What about me?
What about you?
I've heard my wife say that my naivete happens because of the charisma and because I'm always talking to people. And I've also heard my wife say, I'm glad I'm around sometimes, because sometimes you wouldn't even pick it up. You wouldn't even see it. And I was a point guard, you know what I mean? But I shot everything. So my peripheral was okay. You know what I mean? I can see things around me. I can run a good ball screen. I can see the big man rolling down the middle if the two commit, but I could also see the basket every single time.
Okay.
But there are some times where I miss it.
Yes.
Are there any times that you've seen that I missed?
Yes.
I was hoping for it now.
No, I mean, if you put me on a hot seat, I'm putting you on a hot seat. So.
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm out here living. I have a strategy. I'm winning.
It's around the same. So it was around the same time that this scenario had happened. Like I said, we were not in a good space. So we weren't talking a whole lot, right? Yeah. And that's a truth of marriage. Like there's ebbs and flows. We talk about peaks and valleys. We talk about things being tough. In our younger years, there were more tough times than there are now, right? Yeah. Or the tough looks different now.
Yeah, choose your tough.
Yeah. So anyway, you were doing a whole lot of stuff. You were trying to figure this out. So you're coaching and you're training and you were playing in some leagues and some other stuff was happening, right? And there was a particular coach that I didn't know who she was. I'd never met her before, but she was texting you. But she would text and it was and like I said, we weren't in a good space. So I don't generally look at your text or anything like that.
Neither do we.
Right. Like we have access to each other, but we don't necessarily do that. But at this particular time, we just weren't talking. So like sometimes the thing would pop up. Well, it popped up. I remember being in our living room I think you were outside with our daughter, and it was a female name. So I click on it and I see.
Do it again.
And stretch it out because I think we didn't even have iPhones at the time. We were still green. Excuse me.
Sheesh.
And so I look at the text and it's like, what are you doing today? So I'm immediately like, why is this female asking what he's doing?
Mind you, I don't remember any of this, but okay.
You don't have to remember because it wasn't important. The way that you acted, I was just like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so I immediately am like, write this number down. Let me get this name. I'm going to write down
Investigative reporters are women.
Well, yeah, because I was going to wait to hear what you had to say, and then I was going to call her myself. So it was what it was, right? So then she sends another text. But I didn't say anything. I had learned, like, you keep your mouth shut. You get all of your ducks in a row, and then you say something. So I'm fuming.
Present your case.
Yep. You were outside with our daughter. You come back in, and you said something. I'm like, I was short with him, but we were short at the time anyway. So let some days pass, and I start to see there was a bit of a chain. It was a short chain. And so she would say a lot of stuff, and you would have a short answer.
I still do that to this day.
You do?
BTW.
Yes. So then there was something where she was like, she wanted to meet up with you. Oh, you're taking your daughter here. Well, when are you going? Okay, now I'm fuming. Like I was mad, but now I'm fuming. So I don't know who this person is, but she thinks she about to see she about to meet my baby. I might not like him, but that's mine. You and her, but you know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, oh no, I've had enough. So I like toss the phone at you. Yes.
I don't even remember this.
You don't have to, but I do remember
That's how you know I was legit.
So he was so indifferent about it. He's like, who? I said, she's been and I show you the messages. Oh, she was asking me about a game. No, she wasn't. She was asking when you were going to the museum with our daughter. And so then you're like, yeah, I didn't know. I thought maybe she thought I was like reffing a game or something. It was like, you were just so like laxed about it. And I'm like, okay, well, I done already did my investigative work. And so I know she like all of your stuff when it doesn't include me. And you're like, what? Yes, on your, I don't know what platform it was, but if it includes me in it, she don't like it. If it's you, if it's our daughter, she likes it. I'm like, these are clues. These are like hardcore facts. And I have these text messages. And you were like, I can block her and delete her. And you were just so indifferent about it. I don't know
why was I indifferent?
I'm not going into...
Because I was naive and probably didn't care, and this wasn't what I thought.
No, I think because you were like, she just asked me about this. It wasn't a big deal.
It's unfair. It's unfair to respond. I know what she's talking about. We already had this conversation. Mm-hmm. It's unfair to respond by saying that this young woman or whatever she was so not. She was
not attractive. He wasn't attractive. I guess that's the punchline.
I know that's not really.
But she wasn't attractive. That's
not the way to respond. But it was like, dog, that's not what you get mad about. That ain't it.
And I'm like, this has nothing to do. She doesn't know boundaries, and she doesn't know boundaries because you're not setting them. And that was to me the bigger issue.
What did I do? Did I block?
I think so.
I so did not care about this because I don't even remember this as a moment.
Yeah, you said it like, I mean, she trying to get play from everybody. So you probably didn't say play. You probably didn't say play. Fine. Whatever. Anywho, you, like I said, you acted very...
I gotta hit Pete on this one.
Leave me alone. So anyway, I mean, it was, but it wasn't.
I tell people about it. It's a habitual thing.
You were totally indifferent. I don't even remember how it ended up happening, but you ultimately, I was just like, look, we may not be great right now, but these things don't make it better. So what do you want to do with that? Do what you will with it. But if she texts again, I'm calling her. And you were like, I'll just block her or whatever. I'll tell her the next time I see her at the thing, like, not to text me anymore about anything. You know, it was like, well, I talked to her because of the game. She does the scheduling or something. It was like something again, like there was a transactional.
The context of it is naivete, because that was so not on my mind, obviously. Mm-hmm. And you could tell, because I don't know, is indifferent? Where's I don't care and indifferent? Where would that be? Like, where do you log? Indifferent?
I don't care and indifferent? Like, they're about the same.
About the same. Okay.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, it was somewhere in that.
Because you never flinched, but again, like, respectfully, right? You was a certified player. So, like, I don't know if...
I was a certified what? Certified what?
Bop. That's
I was for the streets.
You was
I
for
used
the
to be for the streets when I was a young boy.
You was a bop. So yeah, so
that was a bop. I hope your daughter never listens to this.
I hope she doesn't either.
Yeah, she's gonna like.
She don't know I'm still all her stuff. What is it, Riz, and what else?
No.
Don't.
No.
Okay,
fine.
Let's
not.
No. Anyway, all of that to say, like, we had to learn and we had to grow, and we also had to recognize that we have to be on alert, especially when we aren't in the best of.
We're not in sync. Yeah,
when we're not in alignment like we typically would be, like, because you don't know what's about to snake its way in. So
right, leave the door cracked. The enemy will do his thing.
Yeah. So anywho, recollect.
Recollect. I mean, we did nothing but recollect.
We surely didn't.
Yeah, we did nothing but recollect. Yeah.
How about some takeaways?
I got one.
Go.
Do you remember? Do you recall a time where your child seeing you get hit on? Then your child seeing you get pursued by the opposite sex?
Yes.
How'd it go? Please.
Our oldest, she was like blocking me. It was kind of interesting. So it was at like one of the games. It was after a game, and a guy came over and said something to me. But it was kind of flirty. I don't remember what it was.
This is recent?
This is recent. This is like maybe a couple years ago. And so he was like, "Oh, well, what's your name?" And so Shai was just like, "My mom's married." And then she was like, "To my father."
Married to my father.
And he's over there. Yeah, it was like boom, boom, boom. And I was like, and I laughed because I was just like, I could have told him my name, Shai. Like, it's fine, you know.
What homie say?
Oh, he laughed. He was like, "Oh, I mean, no, my bad." Like, he didn't. He just. It was fine. He went on about his business, but she was upset about it after the fact.
Yeah, if you don't know about my daughter, man, let me tell you something about this girl. She will let people walk all over her sometimes. We got to teach her how to advocate for herself. We are consistently telling her, stand up for yourself. Stop letting people talk to you like that. Or better yet, you show people how to
treat
talk to you, how to treat you. We tell her that all the time. We're advocate. But when it come to us, or family, you don't got to tell her nothing. I can count on both fingers probably.
She bucks up like
how many
big
times
time.
She changes into a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
Like, she gets after it. Like the car accident that I had.
Yes.
Had a little fender bender on Melrose.
Well, you didn't. You got hit.
Yeah, somebody hit me. It wasn't nothing heavy, but he was texting. You know what I mean? Young boy, boom, runs right into the corner of Melrose and La Brea. She's in the car with me, but we were going to see some friends that were in town.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I get out of my car. I get out of my car, and of course I'm feeling away. But as I get out, my daughter's out of the car
already,
and she's already yelling at this grown. I'm like, "Yo, get back in the car! Yo, get back in the car! What are you doing? Like, what are you doing, bro? You don't hit my father's car. You doing so and so." So I had to grab this little girl by her entire body and place her in the back seat, and then hit the lock button. This little girl was ready to go, man. But
She was like 8 at the time. Yeah.
But when it come to us, she don't play that.
She doesn't even like us a lot of the time. She doesn't, like, to our faces. She doesn't like us. But then in those and in that particular season, she was just like,
yeah, she's a bulldog when it comes to that.
you don't need to be talking to my mother. She's married.
Yeah, buddy.
To my father, and he's over there. And I was like, shy, like, chill. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Same girl.
Same child,
Same
right?
child. Same house. Olive Garden. I still go to Olive Garden and Cheesecake Factory. Hold on, where's my camera at? I still go to Olive Garden and Cheesecake Factory. I'm telling y'all better stop shaming people who still go to Olive Garden and Cheesecake Factory. Like I said before, I don't mind going to Boa. I don't mind going to Houston's. I don't mind going to Joey's. But let me tell you something. If I want some decently priced pasta, that's where I go. What's wrong with your face? What's wrong with your face?
Nothing.
What's wrong with your face?
Nothing.
I'm trying to tell the truth here, right? There's a
likes
lot of Cheesecake Factory and Olive Garden shaming going on in these social media streets.
Got it.
And I needed to stop.
Stop it. Stop it
Knock
right
it
now.
off.
Okay.
So it's a couple years back, and we're in the Olive Garden. And once again, naive, totally oblivious. Phew, flying over my head.
Oh, it's over your head too?
I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
And finally, the girl says, that's the second. She said it so the woman can hear it. That's the third time you've asked him that question. My mother's right there.
Was I there?
Yes.
Oh,
So you didn't see it either.
no.
My mother's sitting right there. I said, wait, who is she talking to?
What did she ask you?
I said, wait, she's talking to me, but she's saying it at a volume in which the woman over there can hear. I said, wow.
Cheyenne, she has a emotional emotional IQ is like dumb high. She just is, she's sharp like that. So I'm not surprised, but.
You know what I told her?
What?
You probably messed up some free Alfredo sauce. She probably
You're
messed
trying to get
up
some free
good free.
What did she
Alfredo
ask
sauce.
you? It doesn't
Come
matter.
on. Once again, I don't know. I don't even, the story you told earlier, I still don't know that person's name.
Well, I know, but I'm about
Flying
to tell you
over
'cause
my head.
I locked it in because she shouldn't have been texting you.
Either way. But yeah, our daughter. Now the boy, I don't think nobody really want that smoke. I don't think.
I feel like that would go over his head, but I don't know.
Until it doesn't.
Until it doesn't. I do want to name that we do have some things in place. We do. Like phone calls, text messaging, things like that.
Yeah.
With like time frames and
edutainment.
Yes.
Edutainment. Go ahead. Break it down, sis.
So we did decide, it was just, we kind of normalized the thing where, you know, like I have mail numbers. We have
numbers.
like phone numbers, male as in the gender. And we have their phone numbers because they're in my phone. Like, come on, don't do that to me. I have to talk for this show.
No, but you talking about numbers takes me back to, once again, your vernacular.
Like getting numbers and getting play.
Lord, what am I going to do?
And don't be a bop.
Don't be a bop.
Okay, so anyway, we had to normalize the time, and we established that kind of early in our marriage because we have friends of other genders.
Absolutely, and
right? Like
share most of them.
I mean, we share them now, but at the time we didn't necessarily share them, right? And so there were times where your friends might text after 9 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, that is, whether it's summer, winter, spring, or fall, it's dark at 9 o'clock.
Dark at 9 o'clock. The street lights is on.
They're on. You have a curfew when it comes to time. Because what do you, even if there is a platonic relationship, if you're not like FaceTiming all of us, then what are we talking about, right? So that was the time. Like 9 o'clock was like the cutoff.
I don't even remember it like being like a long conversation.
It wasn't.
It was just kind of something that we just established. Like after 9 o'clock, and now don't get it twisted. Please don't get it twisted. What that means, that goes both ways. So of course I'm a businessman, right? And I have many hats. So sometimes I do have conversations via text or phone with women after a certain hour. And she'll hear me say like, "Ooh, I'm so sorry." And the other person will be like, "What are you sorry about?" And I'm like, that's a thing in our house, not in yours. But I'm like, you don't call no other man's.
Here after 9 o'clock.
Yeah, you don't call no other woman's phone. You know what I mean? Without apologizing. You know what I mean? There's sometimes where, like my teen mom, and she'll be like, "Don't worry about it." I'm like, "No, it's," but I don't have to explain to her. Like, of course it's clean, but nonetheless, it's like, "Hey, it's after 9 o'clock. So sorry. I'll even start. I'm so sorry to hit you after this hour, but so on and so forth, so forth. Can we follow up tomorrow? Blah, blah, blah." So it's embedded. It's naturally embedded in like what we do.
That's a boundary.
Yeah, it's a boundary naturally that we put in. I strongly suggest you do that for your relationship. You know what I mean? Because, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any others though? Like little.
Oh yeah, unspoken things that people probably don't see. You want me to say it? My wife wears leggings every day. So depending on what we're doing, where we're moving, sometimes women, I'm serious, sometimes women don't know how thin or thick their leggings are. So when you bend over and the elastic starts to stretch, sometimes it's like, hey, I can see your butt cheeks.
Because my leggings are old.
Yeah, I can see your butt cheeks and your friends. I can see all your goodies. And, just imagine how goofy that looks, Mark. Sometimes I'm like, yo, bend over. What's going on? What? Bend over. And she'll just be right there. She'll bend over. And I'm like, you're good. And it's nothing. I'm telling you, we don't even think about it. She'll just, you can see something? Okay, I'm good. And we move about our business. Now, of course, she's got her issues with gray sweats and such.
Don't wear the gray sweats unless I'm with you.
You know what's funny, Mark? There are no other color sweats for men. Do you see men running around with yellow sweats, purple sweats? Black.
Navy
blue?
That's the only navy I know, but
the best sweats are gray. Mark, who are we kidding? Sweats, actually, the original sweats. Matter of fact, I bet you right now, if we're all thinking about...
Okay, so then you about to be wrapping a thing around your waist then.
You imagine a man walking around with the waist, he's strapping the sweater to the front of his... That would look crazy.
I'm like, don't show no more workout videos with you in some gray sweats. Don't do it. The end. That's all I have to say about that. It's been great, everyone. What was the name of this one?
We have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll name it later.
Okay.
We'll name it later. Hey, so once again, thank you for tuning in to Marriage for Grown Folks.
Yeah.
Once again, I say it 1,000 times. This is a safe space for you to come and enjoy yourself and learn something, aka edutainment. If you subscribe to this beautiful thing that we call marriage, the institution where you are required to have a boundary of time for your texting, and you can't wear gray sweats, and you have to bend over for your husband to make sure that your leggings are not see-through, then this is the place for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely. Or you get pursued by women, apparently, but you still haven't quite figured it out yet.
Oh, duh. I didn't know. Love you guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Drop a comment. We're on TikTok as well. Marriage for Grown Folks. Of course, you know about the Instagram. Once again, Marriage for Grown Folks. Not with a Z. It's an S. Check us out. We do cool things. Love you guys.
And leave a message. Yeah, leave a message for us. Anything that maybe we left out that we can add. Yeah. We're open to learning. We like giving and educating, but we also love learning. So please, share that with us.
Edutainment.
Edutain us.
Right.
Yeah.
And we'll follow you back.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome job. Love y'all. We out.
Peace.